Hi guys, this is Frank here with Build Your Own, and in this video we are going to cover the 2019 Nissan Altima maintenance schedule. To maintain your 2019 Nissan Altima sedan and keep it running in tip-top shape for many years to come, Nissan recommends keeping up with routine factory recommended maintenance. To help you keep on top of servicing, I will highlight the 2019 Nissan Altima maintenance schedule to make certain you understand exactly the kinds of services you will need. By following the maintenance schedule for your 2019 Nissan Altima, you can trust that your vehicle will perform well on every trip and never leave you stranded. More than likely. Listen, real quick before I get started, I recently did a walk around features and configurations review of the 2019 Nissan Altima sedan. I'll put a link to that video down in the description below and up in the corner. You know, I've been driving this 2019 Nissan Altima sedan for a few days, and it's a really nice car. This one's actually an SL trim level, has leather interior, remote start, heated seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's a really nice car. It doesn't have that turbo engine, but it's still peppy enough, you know. So, you know, you got a nice new car like this. The one thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you take good care of it, and right from the beginning. So in this video, or right now during this part anyway, let's talk about understanding your 2019 Nissan Altima maintenance schedule. So let's just dive a little bit deeper into that real quick before we actually go over the actual service intervals, because we're going to get to that in just a second. In regard to a 2019 Nissan Altima, how you care for your car makes a big difference in its performance and longevity and reliability. If you put in the effort to keep up with appropriate maintenance, your Altima could be on the road well beyond the 200,000 mile marker. Not an expert on what services your 2019 Nissan Altima needs and when it needs it? No problem. Rather than waiting for a problem to appear with your Altima, you can stay ahead of problems before they even start. Rely on the suggested maintenance schedule that has been created for your Nissan Altima sedan that we're going to cover right now. Actually, just before I created this video, I did an actual complete write-up of the 2019 Nissan Altima maintenance schedule on my website. I even put a link to the owner's manual and all that. So I'll put a link to that article down in the description below, and I'll put a link up to that article in the corner right now. So yeah, this is the base model engine. I think it's a 2.5 liter. Don't quote me on that. You'll have to check my walk around features review. Like I said, this engine is it's not super peppy. It gets the job done. It's adequate. Let's just say the power is adequate. It moves the car along, but it is kind of noisy. You can hear it. It's kind of clackety clack, but that's not uncommon for a lot of small four-cylinder engines these days. Not just Nissan. That can kind of be everybody. So yeah, just your basic power plant. But nonetheless, it still needs servicing, routine servicing, and regular maintenance to stay dependable and reliable. The 2019 Nissan Altima maintenance schedule is put together by Nissan, your automobile manufacturer. Based on driving conditions and climate in your region and other contributing factors like your own personal driving habits and style, your car's scheduled maintenance needs can vary. However, recommended maintenance generally includes services like oil changes, tire rotations, brake pad replacement, filter changes, and fluid checks and exchanges. Keeping up with regular service appointments is an excellent way to maintain your 2019 Nissan Altima, reduce your risk of dangerous malfunctions on the road, and help you avoid costly repairs. So yeah, like I said, this is the SL trim level. I'm not sure what color paint this is. It's silver. We've got the black leather interior. This car has about 22,000 miles on it. Smells good in here. It's a nice car. Yeah, you got the heated steering wheel. You got the heated seats, two-stage heated seats. You got power seats for the driver and passenger, power door locks, automatic one-touch windows. These wheels, while I didn't really think they're cool, they actually clean up pretty nice, and they actually don't look bad on the car. This car has the Bose audio system. So yeah, this is the SL. It's got like the little faux dual exhaust down there. It's a pretty cool car. It's a pretty cool car. I like this car so much, and maybe start thinking about the Nissan Maxima, and the Nissan Maxima is super sweet, and it comes standard with a 300-ish horsepower motor. Okay, so anyway, back to what this video is all about. So the maintenance schedule for your 2019 Nissan Altima. Here's how it works. Breaking your maintenance schedule down by mileage is the simplest type of measurement when determining your vehicle's service requirements. The services which correspond with each mileage mark ought to be repeated each time you accrue that number of mileages in your 2019 Nissan Altima. Let's see which sort of services need to be performed and at what intervals now that you know the intricacies of your maintenance schedule. Okay, so this is why you tuned into this video. Let's talk about the 2019 Nissan Altima maintenance schedule, service intervals. When do you actually need to take this car in and at what mileages? So to get the most from your car, it's very important to stick to the regular maintenance schedule. Nissan has set a service program for the Altima that calls for a trip roughly every 5,000 miles. The necessary services for various mile markers, well, we're going to discuss that right now for about the first 30,000 miles or so. Okay, so what I have here is the owner's manual and maintenance schedule for this 2019 Nissan Altima, and we've got the first 5 through 60,000 miles. Well, really, you know, your first service, they don't really say much for the first 5,000 miles. When they get to the first 10,000 miles, you're going to want to replace your engine oil and the engine oil filter. You're going to do that every 10,000 miles. So at the 10,000, 20,000 mile marker, 30,000 mile. So every 10,000 miles, you're going to change the oil. When you get at 15,000 miles, they don't have anything listed. Me personally, I'd probably bring the car in maybe around every 7,500 miles or so, just to make sure. I guess maybe you don't have to bring it in until, I guess, every 10,000 miles perhaps, unless there's an issue. So at the 20,000 mile marker, yeah, you're going to replace the oil and filter again, and then they're going to inspect the fuel lines and your vapor lines. Then at the 30,000 mile marker, they're going to replace your air cleaner and do an oil change. At the 40,000 mile marker, they're going to do an oil change. They're going to inspect your drive belts. They're going to inspect your fuel lines and your fuel filter. Not your fuel filter, I'm sorry, your fuel lines and your vapor lines. At the 50,000 mile marker, they're going to inspect those drive belts again and do an engine oil change. They're going to change your oil. And then at 60,000 miles, they're going to do a little bit more. They're going to change the oil. They're going to change the air filter. They're going to inspect that drive belt. Probably at some point that drive belt's going to have to get replaced. They're going to inspect the fuel lines and the fuel filter. Worth checking out this book, because in this book they've got different, based on your engine, they've got different service intervals, like every 7,500 miles to get brake inspections and things like that. So it's worth checking your Altima, getting a hold of this owner's manual and maintenance information. If you don't have it, like I said, I wrote up a whole maintenance schedule thing on my website, and I have a link to the PDF version. So make sure if you don't have this owner manual in your Altima, if you've lost it for whatever reason, you can go grab it from my website. All right, let's talk about oil changes. When should we change the oil? Well, we already saw that the factory recommends that you change the oil every 10,000 miles. But here's the deal about that. Changing your oil, it really comes down to your driving conditions and where you live. Do you drive in dusty conditions? You know, things like that will affect your schedule with when you need to change your oil. Car, drives harsh or has some kind of extreme driving conditions, whether it drives a lot or it's always running, or dusty conditions, things like that, then it might necessitate getting a more frequent oil change. And who cares if it costs you a couple bucks? You spend a lot of money on a car like this, that's cheap insurance is what I call it. So yeah, every 10,000 miles per the dealer, but anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 miles is certainly a-okay. Real quick before I wrap this video up, I was talking about the dealer. We've been talking a lot about maintenance schedules and the dealer and a new car. It's like, where do you take your car? Where do you take this car? You could take it to an independent shop, or you could take it to the dealer. I'm very much pro dealer. These guys know the car. We spent a lot of money. These are factory trained technicians. They have the right parts. They have the right diagnostic equipment. I think it's the way to go. Ultimately, it's up to you where you want to take your 2019 Nissan Altima in for service, but I, for one, would take mine to the dealer. Okay, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. If you found this information helpful, informative, or entertaining, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.